What's up YouTube, Duel here from Zeph Wargames, bringing you another commentary on a live duel from locals. So we're starting off on the top with Brigade Melffy with Jamie, and then on the bottom we have Kyril, who is on Invoked branded. Again, this is all post-ban list, so be prepared for the changes. So we start off with special summoning Karaz by discarding, I can't remember the exact name of that one, but I think it's like Wild Beast of the Forest. And then normal summon Kitty from the looks of it. You overlay into the rank 2 Melffy and you set a card. Now obviously the Melffys have these effects where they keep bouncing back during the end phase and trigger additional effects. So we normal summon Aluba. Aluba is going to attempt to search in the form of probably branded fusion, and an imperm is chained. So straight away that Aluba goes to nowhere unless he has a branded in red, which he doesn't. He activates a Law of Darkness, luckily not in the same column as the imperm. So he's going to draw two. It looks like he's got a branded in white and an Alistair. He's obviously got to banish a dark, which is Fallen of Albaz. So banish a Fallen of Albaz. I'm trying to see what else he has in his hand. It's a shame, like, I mean, even normal summon Alistair would have been a little bit busted. I suppose this is a weird matchup as well, because he's only got Earth in the grave, from what I can tell. So an Invocation is still acts as a fusion spell, which could get him into Quinteris or Masquerade Dragon as well. So he's looking at the Brandon and White, trying to see what else there is. It is Invocation. Okay, so he's going to activate the Invocation. Is he going to chain the Melffy effect? Chain the rank 2 Melffy. I believe it like searches one. Oh, it bounces itself back to the extra deck. Summons the 2 materials. No, sends the 2 materials. And then summons 2 back. Okay, so he gets to bring back the beast and the cat. Resolving Invocation. It looks like he's going for a Kaliga. That's interesting. I mean, that's kind of a good play, because technically, because it spins back to the extra deck, if there was a light in the graveyard that was planned to be banished off of Alistair, he wouldn't be able to do it. So he summons the Kaliga in attack mode. That's interesting. Is he going to try and bait out with an Alistair? So he can only use one monster effect, and each player can only attack with one monster. So that's why you usually just make Kaliga and put him in defense. So it looks like he's going to try to trigger the one monster effect now. Oh, it sends it to the graveyard. Oh, I suppose it's resolving the effect from the Wild Beast. Second Invocation. I believe, and if I remember correctly, Invocation is not once per turn. It's a once per turn to use from the graveyard to banish it. That is pretty cool, actually. He's been able to use the Kaliga and the Alistair. I mean, usually it's not a good hand, but the fact he had Aluba as your starter and then he's able to use 2 invocations, absolutely mental. That should pretty much like never happen. So I suppose Agedes is the best one to do, because then Agedes effect will trigger on someone to pop a card. And then he can also, there's no fusion left in the graveyard, but he'd still be strong enough to kill. So he gets to tribute and effect to pop a card. And then he'll have the ability to attack the other one by battle. So just seeing where this one goes. So he's going to chain the cat effect. The cat is going to bounce back into the hand and special summon one from the deck, which looks like Seal. And I think Seal lets him sync with cards in hand. Or does that get added? Sorry. He's going to do Invocation effect, add back. I think this is the thing with Melffy. I'm not completely sure on the way they operate. They're like, they constantly just keep bouncing around the place. I can't remember if they have the option to summon or add to the hand, but either way, you can ash him, which is pretty cool. I suppose the Agedes is going to go in directly, do a bit of decent damage. 20, is it 2k base or 22? Oh, wait. There you go. So the Seal gets added to the hand, and he's had the ability, I suppose, when an attack is declared, to special summon Seal. And then Seal lets him sync. So he usually gets to go into a level 4, which brings him out into the new synchro that the Melffys have got. Usually you'd think like Herald of the Art Light, but it doesn't. And I think this card lets you bounce one. Oh, Super Poly as well. What is going on? And he ditches the Alistair. What? His open hand must have been like was slightly cracked. If the monster lol Alistair and a monster special from the extra deck on the board. Oh, who summons Elysium? What the heck is going on? I mean, it worked. He's able to like full on Elysium. Oh my days, Elysium for 32. What the heck? That is. I think I've seen it all now. So that opening hand was pretty mad in a sense. When you look at everything he could have done and everything that he's able to do. Yeah, alright, there was only like technically it was 3 forms of interruption from Jamie with Melffy's, because there was obviously Imperm at the start, there was the bounce from, or the pop from the tree beast, and then there was the attempted effect of the synchro as well. So I think they're just trying to confirm Elysium's summon. Super poly that into that. I can't remember the Elysium's requirements. I can't remember if it's a card that lists it in its text, or if it's a card that is it. So let's have a look, because I haven't seen Invoked Elysium for a long time. So as the game carries on, we'll have a quick look at Elysium. It requires 1 Invoked monster and then 1 monster that was special from the extra deck. Lol, that's pretty funny. That's actually really funny. Okay, cool. So Invoked Elysium is on the board. We've got the Karaz, we've got an Imperm on the Elysium, because the Elysium has the quick effect, I believe, to just double check that. So it has a quick effect, target 1 Invoked monster you control or in your graveyard, banish it. Banish it. Also, all monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute as that monster, and obviously Elysium counts as every attribute: dark, earth, water, fire, and wind. The only thing it doesn't count as is light, sadly, but it is light itself naturally, so it has pretty much a full board clear. Either way, Shurag is going to be summoned out off of the back of Karaz. Karaz is going to banish the Elysium, and then I think the Elysium has like a self-destruct, or has used the effect. So very interesting kind of playstay there. No way. He topped the invocation that he spun back with the Alistair. That's just ridiculous. What is going on? So Elysium, not Elysium, Agedes is a light, so I suppose he's going for Macabre now. And then you just start looping back. I mean, when you get to a simplified game state, having a card like Macabre, which you can like loop back an Alistair where at all possible, and then just sit and poke, can be pretty damaging. So summon that back, add the Alistair back to hand. He's still got a branded in white in his hand, which is of no use to him. So if he keeps everything in the hand right now, I mean, he could still normal summon the Alistair effect to search, and try and push a little bit further forward. But if he holds both of them back, he's got a monster negate and a spell negate. So he can literally just poke for 25. If his opponent tries to use a monster effect, he can dump it and banish it. And then he'll guarantee game next turn. But I think he's just looking, I don't know what else Alistair's got. Like, there's nothing left in the extra deck, in the graveyard, sorry. So he's got, I mean, surely you play a second Macabre. Very few people are playing Purgatrio. It looks like he's got a full fusion extra deck, so it doesn't look like there's any Almirage or Artemis. So 25 direct. He could have risked it and dropped the Alistair, but I'd be doing exactly what he's doing. He's only dealing with 1 card at the moment. His opponent's just drew a monster. It looks like it's another tree beast of the forest. He's going to set that. Activate. Is that dog? I think that's the dog. I think dog just special summons itself, and then it'll start triggering effects. So it's whether or not Kyra wanted to negate it. He's got another spell there. Is that branded opening? No, it's Allure of Darkness. Oh, he's going to risk the Allure of Darkness. Invocation. Get out of here. Stop this now. Stop this now. You've got 1 invocation locked in the graveyard, and you've just summoned it twice. You've got Kit. So he's going to normal summon the Kit, which will let him search out basically branded fusion and then put a card back. I suppose the biggest gamble right now is he's got no monsters left, so he can't stop that monster effect going off. So he will also, I mean, how do you go through branded fusion? Do you get a monster to the hand? He special summons Kit. Oh no, he's like, even the dog doesn't agree with that one. So, I mean, it kind of leaves him defenseless. He could have poked away. Like, personally, maybe it would have been worth the risk to attempt to go to the battle phase to attack the dog. I don't know. Again, I'm not too familiar with it. Yeah, I think he's just going to scoop it up. The Brand Infusion is enough to get it from there, because then I suppose you go Mirror Jade effect to banish. If he's able, because I mean, technically he had cards in his hand that he wanted to discard. If he was able to, he could have gone and protected a little bit more. Anyway, moving into game 2. He looks like Kyro's opening hand is Allure of Darkness, possibly Adlabiton or Aluba. Another spell that I can't completely see. Maybe another Allure of Darkness. Infinite Impermanence. And one other. And Jamie's hand is Karaz, Ditchin, Nerval. Hey, near enough. Well, not full combo, but decent level of combo. Nerval's effect is going to go off. This is going to allow him to search it out. Wing Beast? Is it specifically Wing Beast or is it Tri-Brigade? Tri-Brigade. So he goes for Kit, which is a good normal summon to have, actually. So get that as a normal summon. This does give him a good kind of scenario, because even with an Imperm, he can deal with it. So normal summon Kit. He's not even going to use Kit's effect. I suppose he's going to go Ferrigit. No, Elf. Okay, cool. Kit's effect in the graveyard will let him dump more materials, which is really good. And then Elf can bring back. I suppose that's where the Imperm will come into play, because the Imperm will be like, nope, you ain't bringing that back. Okay, dump Fractal. Okay. I mean, he's pretty much already used all the effects now. But he's going to use... Oh, okay, so he used the Elf's effect, but the Imperm... Maybe it's not an Imperm. I could be wrong. Because now he's going to use Kit's effect. Obviously, he can't target. Ah, there we go. That's the misplay. He should have Impermed the... Imperm the Elf, because obviously the cards it points to can't be targeted, so he can't Imperm the summon off of Kit. Okay, so yeah, minor misplay there. Probably should have dropped that a little bit earlier. So it looks like he's going into Bearbrum. Bearbrum is going to go into a Link 3, which is going to be Rugal. This will trigger the effect of Bearbrum to search out, more times than not, is going to be a Revolt, and then put one card back. Yeah, there you go. So there's Revolt. Any card goes back now, and he's got 2 banished, and he's got 2 in the graveyard. Obviously, Bearbrum doesn't count because Bearbrum was special summoned, so it can't be brought back to the board. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Rugal was hard summoned, but there's definitely a lot of space there. There's 2 set. Oh, he top decked another Imperm. Rugal has the ability to bring back from the graveyard. Elf has the ability to bring back from the graveyard. It's going to start off with a Allure of Darkness. Okay. No darks. Whole hand goes bye-bye. Oh, that's a super poly. That is a super poly if ever I did see one. So he's going to banish the Kit. Oh, have you got the ability to super poly? Another Allure of Darkness. He's going to risk it for the biscuit. 2 both monsters from the look of it. Oh, hey, he got the Merry Carrier. So banish the Merry Carrier effect. So I love, like, literally, there's no better feeling than an Allure and then banishing a Merry Carrier or a Tragedy. It's like, yeah, free real estate. Let's go. Did he just search Fallen of Alvaz? Okay, this is bizarre. Not the standard route that I would go to, but I suppose if he hasn't got a normal summon... He has got a normal summon. He's got a normal summon of Aluba. Why would you search Fallen of Alvaz? One of them has to be a Imperm. Yep, knew that was coming. Change Super Poly. Change Super Poly. Do it. Do it. Do it. I don't know what Rugal is. I don't think he can, technically. But, I mean, it would have been funny. Change Super Poly. Dodge that off the board. Get Brand Infusion and something else. Set 1. I'm assuming he doesn't play the Albion, because I would have searched the Albion off of the Merry Carrier rather than Albaz, because technically Albaz is a dead card unless you're going to normal summon it and attempt to fuse, which I thought was initially what was going to happen. So yeah, okay. So Rugal's effect, he's got Jamie's got loads of effects to trigger now. This is really in his advantage. So Rugal can bring back Kit, which will bounce back to the hand. Elf can bring back the Karaz. So he's basically just got 3 materials on the board that can't be targeted. End phase, Rugal's effect will resolve, returning the card to the hand that he searched. He's opted, obviously, not to use Revolt at this point. Which is interesting, because I mean, I probably would have liked the ability to try and banish one card from the graveyard. Sorry, one card from the graveyard. Risk it and banish one card from the back row, because then during your turn, when you special summon, you can trigger it again. So we've got Rescue Cat. We're going to normal summon the Rescue Cat and tribute that off as effect. Alright, there was an imperm on the cat, so there's just a little bit... What is going on? Guys, come on, sort this out, will ya? If you imperm the cat when it's summoned, it's not a quick effect to dodge, so you imperm it, it won't be able to resolve. Like, yeah, another misplay on the imperms. I suppose it just comes with experience. So it looks like we went cat, got Kit and Doggo. So again, we're in a very good position here. Technically, Jamie could hard summon the Shurag, which will give him a free banish. But it looks like he's going to hard summon the Ferrigite, get the effective Kit to just load up his graveyard, and build from there. Yeah, maybe I would have risked it. I would have risked it and tried to banish one of the back row with the Shurag during Kyrill's turn, and then I suppose the only issue... No, because then it all goes back to the graveyard anyway, so you can still Rugal and you can still Elf. So, Ferrigite special summon Kit. Overlay the two of the Doggo and Kit is going to go into the Melffy of the trees, I believe it is. So, I mean, the board state is pretty cool, but then you also argue that like a Battle Trap or a Torrential Tribute or something like that will wipe that entire board out, which would be pretty funny. So, got the Melffy XOZs hit the board. Ferrigite still has the ability to draw one, put one back if he really, really wants it. I'm surprised he'd never used any of the other effects, like to banish cards. I would have ideally... Is that maybe because he wants to use Elf to bring it back? We know there's an imperm there. Yeah, there we go. So Elf is going to activate, and then Elf is going to be impermed. Yeah, it is what it is. So we're going to go battle phase. Oh, one of the sets is going to be Super Poly. So the Melffy Trees is going to attack. I believe it does like 200 damage. So it's like 2k base. And then 14 and 16, so 3k, I believe. Yeah, 3k damage. And then Rugal for, I think, 24? Is he 24? 23. So 23 damage. So a decent chunk of damage, leaving Kyrill on 2500. Are they worse? I can't remember the attributes off the top of my head, but I think there's like fire and 3 earths on the board. So I'm assuming he doesn't have a Garura, because if you had a Garura, I suppose you'd probably just like you take out that Rugal and you take out the Ferrigite. So here comes the hard summon of Shurag. Shurag is a dark, I believe. So I believe I could be completely wrong. I haven't like physically looked at Tri Brigade for a long time. So it looks like Ferrigite is going to draw one, put one back to the bottom. There's still one set that we know is Revolt. The fact that he hasn't had to use a Revolt yet is pretty insane. Oh, and he targeted the Super Poly. Well, non-target, banished the Super Poly. Busted. Yeah. I think he's kind of like the ship has sailed. I honestly don't think that there's a Garura in the extra deck. Otherwise, that's definitely something you make, really. Okay, so we're just trying to figure out... The Shurag will be able to trigger again, so... he now only needs to get into a Link 2, or he can now only get into a Link 2. And then that will trigger Shurag to then banish another one, which could technically banish the set, but I can't imagine the set's much of a threat. We're going to normal summon the Albaz that we searched last turn, and he's going to discard a Alistair, the Invoker. It looks like there's branded in red in hand, so I wonder where this is going to go. Technically, it just needs a monster special summon for the extra deck, so I suppose you fuse with the Shurag. I don't know if it... I don't think it targets. Oh, it goes with Elf. Okay. Obviously, that will give you Mirror Jade. Yep. So the boss monster has entered the board. He's going to attempt to use the Doggo effect. What's going on here? Second Imperm. Okay. Imperm on the Doggo. He's going to chain the Melffy of the Forest. I think that's going to bounce it back and then summon back materials. And he's going to chain... Chaining Mirror Jade? He's going to chain Mirror Jade, send in Albion as cost to vanish the Shurag. So I suppose it's a good way of doing it because I believe Shurag triggers when a Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast gets summoned. So obviously he brings back Kit, and then that will trigger Shurag, and then Shurag will then banish the Mirror Jade. Which wouldn't be the end of the world, because if Mirror Jade does get banished, you trigger the effect, you technically nuke the entire board. Oh, he's got Kit as well. Broken. So because he controls a monster that lists Fallen of Albaz in its text, it can special summon Kit. Kit can search him up, branded Fusion, and then it'll put the card back to the bottom of the deck, which would be branded in red. Which is fine because he's used Albion, so he'll get that branded in red back. Oh, Ash. Broken. Game set, bro. I mean, there's still the doggo effect from the looks of it. So it looks like Kit's going to go attack Kit. So souped up Kit is going to attack. Mirror Jade attacks one doggo. So there's a Revolt and a doggo left. He's basically just cleared this board for Revolt now. But he hasn't triggered Shurag this turn. So I would honestly... So he's going to end phase set the branded in red. I would probably Shurag... yeah, I would Revolt to Shurag here. Because you kind of have to. You banish that branded in red. Mirror Jade's no longer live during your turn. You've only got to get 2,500 damage. So... bring back the Shurag and the Rugal and the Kit. And then he's going to link all four into another Shurag. Shurag Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 will be Nerval, Chainlink 3 Shurag. That's interesting. I don't know why you would use Shurag as 4. So just trying to see what's going on here. He gets to search a level 1 Winged Beast, right? Is it equal to the Banished, or is it equal to Banishing Grave? No, he's got the Otter in there as well. Lol. There you go. That's the Otto. I think it's like Otto Ottoman or something. Came out in it's level 1 that was reprinted in the Megatins as like a super or a random ultra. Banish the brand in red. That's exactly what I would have done. Like it clears the board out, and now he can pretty much push for game, because if he banishes the Mirror Jade, it doesn't matter if it triggers his effect. You should be able to push through everything you need to. I'm not sure exactly what the Otter does, but it'll be interesting to see what it does. And then hopefully we'll be moving into game 3. So keep in mind as well that I kind of cut the middle bits out where they're siding. So even though the duel's only been running for 22 minutes or nearly 23 minutes, you can probably add like 2 minutes on top of that for the siding for between game 1 and 2. So Shurag's going to attack the Kit. That's going to do damage there. Obviously, I assume Jamie doesn't have the ability to special summon to trigger the banish of the Mirror Jade, because obviously if you did, you have to kind of push for game, because if you can't push for game, the Mirror Jade's just gonna deal with it. So he's going to use Mirror Jade's effect early. This is going to send Alba is probably like the best one to do. He's going to banish the Shurag. Second Shurag, go bye-bye. And then battle phase, going to attack into Doggo. He's going to use Doggo's effect to return it to the hand. Special one from the deck. There is Catty, or Kitty, I believe it is. Moving to the end phase, he's going to use Alba's effect. Another Ash Blossom. You ain't getting nothing now. Okay, interesting. So we know there's an Otter in the hand. It looks like he's just drawn Cat for turn. I think Seal is the only tuner of the deck, which is a bit weird, because then it means like it can't access his synchros, which is kind of messed up. It still gets his XYZs though. It would have been cool if they were like half of them were tuners, half of them were not tuners, so then they've got the access or like a balance to get into the synchro and the XYZs. But now Jamie's up against it because he's got to get rid of Mirror Jade. Obviously he's way up on life points. He's untouched at the moment. But did he put unless he plays 3 Shurag, which I'll be absolutely amazed by in a hybrid deck. But he's obviously got, I think he's got one, if not both of them are banished. I think one of them's banished because he brought the other one back with Revolt. So the only thing that I can see is that he's got an XYZ, unless he's got a Tri-Brigade in the hand, and even then I'm not too sure what you go to. Like, I doubt you're playing a second. Okay, so he's going to special summon down Doggo and special summon down Cat, He's just walling up. Okay. Okay. See where this is going. Walling up until he can get somewhere. Normal summon Albaz. Obviously no effect on Albaz. Because, I mean, I don't think they can do anything. I think this will give him the ability to synchro, and then when he synchros, he can bounce cards, which is really important, because then obviously by bouncing Mirror Jade, that will ultimately lead to, in theory, game, because you bounce it back to the extra 8, it can't trigger to like nuke the board, which is really, really important. But it's definitely a resource game. Is he going to pop Albaz? There we go. So we searched out the Karaz. The Karaz is probably going to let him go off next turn anyway. So that's going to... Is that going to try and attempt to kill the Mirror Jade? Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So he's going to Ghost Mourner, the level 2 that pops a card. So that stops that as a form of interruption. Technically, then if Kyril can make it leave the board, he'll gain... or his opponent will lose life points equal to his tap, which is pretty funny. So is he going to battle phase? He is going to battle phase. So Albaz is going to attack. It will take damage equal to its attack, which I think is something like 200. Lol. And then Mirror Jade is going to attack. He can't be... yeah, okay. I suppose you hold the Mirror Jade effect. I mean, I'd be surprised if he was playing 3. Oh, that's a Dark Ruler no more. Oh my days. I can't believe that. The one time he decides to save the Mirror Jade effect, he gets Dark Rulered. That is just pain. Special summon Kiraz. So he's going to summon that down. And then we've got Banishing 2, Dog and Cat. Go to Ferigi. Oh, going to double Dragon Lords. Yeah, fair. Alright, that's one way of getting rid of Mirror Jade. We've got the Otto Ottoman. I'm not too sure what that does. But... oh, okay, he's just going to send it with the double Dragon Lords to bounce back the Mirror Jade. But he still isn't strong enough to kill Albaz, which is quite funny, I'm not going to lie. Here we go. This is going to be out the Albaz. And this is going to be... oh, no, what? Oh, he must be out of rank 2s. This is so sad. Oh, unless you can only go into links. I can't remember. That's quite sad. So Albaz can attempt to threaten the double Dragon Lord. I wouldn't really want to bounce the Albaz unless he commits his normal, because if you don't bounce the double Dragon Lords, he just normal summons the Albaz and goes again. Activate Invocation? What? No way. Is there an Alistair in the graveyard? Oh my god, he's going to go for a Raijin. No way. I didn't even remember that there was an oh my god, there is one. Oh wow, there's an Alistair in the grave. That was dumped way ago. He's still going. This is unreal. Like, he's literally grinding this out like mad. I mean, to be honest, what I probably would have done that is I would have attempted to go battle phase, made the double Dragon Lords bounce my Albaz, because then it would have forced Jamie to get rid of the double Dragon Lords, because if he leads it on the board, you could normal summon the Albaz, use the effect, ditch, and make Mirror Jade again, and then Mirror Jade clears off the cat. Whereas by doing it this way, he can now still activate the double Dragon Lords to send one of them to bounce back the Raijin, and then the next turn double Dragon Lords bounce back. I think they're just checking if Catty activates his effect and then Raijin change to Book of Moon, will it still resolve? Dun 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 dun. I haven't got the exact... let me get the exact text of the cat actually in front of me. Let's have a look. So... while they try and figure this one out. So it is... Melffy Kitten. Oh, that's not how you spell it. And then while I'm typing out Melffy Kitten, I've got my cat. What are you doing, cat? So the dog barks and the cat just comes and scratches. So it's called Melffy Catty. If your opponent normal or special is a monster, etc. in a damage state, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you return this card to the hand, then you can add one beast monster from your deck to the hand. So the trigger is the target for attack. You can return this card to the hand. Then you can add a beast monster. Interesting. I can't remember the rulings on thens. It looks like he was able to add it back to the hand, and maybe he didn't activate a Raijin to Book of Moon it. So... I completely missed out Alistair. Oh, no way. He looped the Alistair. Lol. You looped the Alistair because he was able to banish it with a graveyard. Normal summon Alistair. Search out Invocation. Activate Invocation. He's going to banish a dart. Oh, he's going to go for Kaliga. What? No. Don't go Kaliga. Oh, he's going to go Agedes. Yeah, Agedes. Okay, so Agedes effect will trigger on summon to pop one. So he's popping... Is he popping the Kuraz? He's going to double Dragon Lords to send, to bounce, which, you know, makes logical sense. Bounce to the Raijin. Fearful of the Raijin. Oh, well, to be fair, I suppose Raijin during the next turn to Book of Moon a card will stop everything. And then Agedes, and then he's going to trigger the seal. Yeah, so it looks like they were able to resolve the effect to bounce back the thing. Going to the Synchro is going to bounce the Agedes back to the extra deck. I think the Synchro is like a 1900 base. So, yeah. And now all Jamie needs to do is get that additional 1200 on the board. Can he get 1200 on the board? Oh my god, he got a Fractal. He ripped a Fractal off the top. That's just disgusting. Unbelievable. Like, literally, that was the only card in his deck that I suppose you can normal summon without needing to go try and go through the extra deck that gets him game. That is redonkulous. Anyway, moving into game 3, there is not long left on the clock. So after 2 rounds of siding, we probably have like just about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit under. It looks like Kyle's going to get to go first. He's going to activate Branded Fusion. No Ash this time. So that's going to be very interesting to see where this goes, because Kyle does play a strange build. Like, he plays... But it's crazy because I've seen his end boards. His end boards was like Macabre, Dragoon, plus a Mirrorjade. It's like, bro, you've got like 3 of the strongest fusion monsters out there. I hope your opponent doesn't have Super Parley. So he sent Fawn of Albaz and he sent the Light Hex Seal. Is he going to risk it all early on and go into Dark Ruler? Not Dark Ruler no more. Dragoon. Oh, okay, he's going to go into Albion, and then Albion's effect's going to banish the both. Is this going to lead him into Dragoon? Where are we going for with this one? Yeah, he's going to go Dragoon. Let's hope Jamie... Well, we all know Jamie plays Dark Ruler. Is that Dark Ruler in his hand? But then we also expect that Jamie will possibly... well, he's got Dark Ruler and Super Play. It looks like there's an Ash in the hand, another Light Hex Seal. And is that an Invocation? It is an Invocation. Light Hex Seal as Alistair the Invoker? Right? Now, oh no, Fallen of Albaz! Yo, Invocation using Light Hex Seal as Fawn of Albaz, right? He's going to go Mirrorjade. Oh, he goes Kaliga. He's going to use Alistair the Invoker to go Kaliga. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I mean, he did have a couple of options there, which is quite interesting. But alright, so we've got a Kaliga, which means your opponent can only activate 1 effect and can only attack with 1 effect. And that is Obedient Scald. Please tell me he kept a card in the hand for Dragoon. Don't do that. Don't. He did keep 1 in hand. Oh, he kept an Ash in hand. That's all he had. Ah. I mean, that wasn't really... That's not the 1 monster effect, but he's got 4 monsters. Normal Summon Fractal. Fractal just punches over Kaliga, I suppose. Okay, so that punches over Kaliga. No, don't. Oh, this is risky, though. Oh, because it can send from hand or field, right? There's nothing that can stop that. This is where you needed to hold back the Ash and probably wasn't worth putting the Kaliga on the board. What? No, what are you doing? You can't imperm this stuff. Okay, Kyril. Note number 1. If you watch this video back, you need to work on your imperm skills. Send Kit, send Nerval. Nerval, add Kuraz. Don't know why it's gone to the graveyard. There we go. So, I mean, he pretty much now unlocks plays because he's now used monster effects and everything. But I mean, does the Obedient School special summons 2 out? Does that cause much of an issue? I mean, it doesn't make a big difference, to be fair. The Dragoon is still like a 4k powerhouse. He's going to banish 4. He's going to go into Shurag. Shurag will now banish the Dragoon because he's non-target. Nice. Shurag's going to banish, but now this is where the imperm comes into play, because then you keep that Dragoon on board. That Dragoon is your match winner. So your imperm, turn off the Shurag, hope that your opponent can't get into, which I think he can. If he gets into Bear Brum or Ferrigy and he's able to kind of link those off and get into Revolt. Oh, let's just set one pass. Go to battle phase. Go to battle phase. Normal summon Alistair effect. And in response to the effect, he's going to use the cat. Is he going to... Oh, he's got no cards in hand. What's going on? Don't do it. Just go battle phase. Battle phase. Battle phase. Just attack the Shurag. You're already up a K. Do the damage and then do all of this in main phase 2. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing? They're all just like moving far forward, but you've got no cards in hand. What are you doing? You can't negate any of this. Just stop. Just play it safe. Play it safe, please. So he's going to use the Synchro effect. I think the Synchro effect is like target bounce, and then Shurag, because something was special with his Chain Link, is going to be able to banish. The Agedes will still resolve to pop a card, so he's going to try and pop the Shurag. So technically, I think it would be Chain Link 1 Agedes. Chain Link 2 will be the Synchro, which will bounce, and then Chain Link 3 will be Shurag to banish the Dragoon. Oh my days, you had everything you could have possibly wanted. You should have just held back. And then I think he's using Shurag's effect. I probably wouldn't have even bothered, to be honest. Knowing how much... Well, if I knew how much time was left on the board, you probably just go, okay, cool, go. There's the handshake. Time was called. You probably, you just continue to play and you're like, all right, well, we'll see where this goes. Anyway, that was a very interesting game. A lot of questionable plays. But it's still interesting to kind of see Melffy's and just different versions of Invoked or Matica and everything like that being played around. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Hopefully for those playing, it's a learning curve as well. We've seen a lot of duels this week. And it's just kind of, when you review footage back, you'll see the misplays yourself. Sometimes when you're actually there playing them, you won't see them as clean cut and as clear as we do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.